生硬，可能会是非常生硬的那种3D 模拟器，但是其实有在那这样的模拟器的生产的影像呢，它跟以前早期我们在看电影的时候的那个3D 动画又不太一样，因为3D 动画都会尽量就会要后置的时候要算到很像，然后跟真的一样再合成，你才会觉得身临其境。可是你要翻译哈，好，你先翻。
So before we start today, I'd like to briefly introduce game. So, Vladimir, would you like to say a few words to our audience here today?
Yeah, I just wanted to, before we jump to the first questions, I just wanted to say it's a really great pleasure to come back to JAI, though this year virtually. Last year I had a really big pleasure to be there with you and with the audience and show other films. But it's really nice to be back, and I hope you enjoyed the screening.
那在一开始想先跟大家说，很高兴可以再回到这边，再跟大家再次见面哦。自从去年之后，能够再回到这边是一件非常高兴的事情。那希望大家喜欢今天的作品。
Boba, would you like to carry on or?
Yeah, maybe you can start and then I jump.
Okay, so. 我第一个问题想要请教我们今天的来宾之一 Nasia， 就是可不可以再跟我们介绍一下你如何开始这个电影的想法，以及你如何去制造这些影像。
So the first question I'd like to ask Nastia about, can you please tell us about how you make this film and how you generate all of these graphs we see in your artwork?
How you started the idea after? I think it was after the war started. So what kind of any reason that initiate your idea at the very beginning? 一开始怎么样想到这件事情？
Basically, I started this project out of necessity to really tackle theme of processes that are going with the Russian and the whole situation in Russia is hard for me to understand that after the scaling start. People they start dreaming about, they start having nightmares about him, and I not thinking about it. They really change people. How much they really influence even our subconscious. And so first these dreams, and then together with my curate, we started working like we thought actually game the Unreal Engine, the game engine for the animation, because all like it feels as like Russia and all Russians with a game in a way, like in the most games that can be imagined, and it felt good metaphor in this way. But what wanted to work with a new technology and because it's very nice to our idea.
连线有点糟糕。你do it？
我尽量 OK 好。
The internet is quite bad right now, so we'll try.
那西亚的回答就是。
Yeah, we have a hard time also.
Okay, so I'll start interpreting a bit first. 所以Nasia 的分享就是说，启发他就是现在俄乌的战况，他看到现在这些情况，他觉得很心碎。那这也开始收集到说，越来越多人他们有梦见普丁这件事情，他就是这些梦启发了他来制作这个作品，因为他发现这些梦可能改变了很多人的看法，所以他就利用刚刚提到的游戏引擎，一个叫 Unreal Engine 这个引擎来制作这个作品。
那第二个问题，我想问 Anton， 就是说他如何接触到这个军事？因为 Anton 用的是另外一个游戏引擎，它是军事使用的模拟器，所以它不是游戏一般人在玩游戏的引擎。那我好奇他怎么样开始知道这件事情，然后接触到美国、法国军那个对象是一个美国人或是法国军人，他们这样的经历，他怎么样接触到的？对。
Question I would like to ask Antoine. We are talking about game engine today, and I realized that you are using a very different type of game engine in your work. So I'm really curious and wondering how you get in touch with this source and create this character, because it has a military background. Can you share with us? Thank you.
I was in touch with Cyril, so the French soldier, because very easy, because he was one of the good friend of my best friend. So I met him during the party, and after we talked many times about what he did in Mali, the war in Mali, and that was this moment we talked a lot about Arma 3, so the video game I used in my own landscapes. And I was very interested because I was interested in his way to make landscapes, because he was recruited because he had many good skills to make this kind of background to recreate PTSD scenes. So that's why we start to talk about his PTSD that happened in war, and why he used this video game, because it's the mod we say the mod in video game. I didn't use like Unreal Engine or Blender or any 3D software. It's inside the video game. I recreate some landscapes, virtual landscapes, because he didn't want to share with me the landscapes. But at the end, we can't even share the landscapes. It's inside the landscape, inside the software. So he should share his computer. So I watched many tutorials to recreate the landscapes I saw in his computer. So that was the way I meet Cyril, and I recreate virtual landscapes.
Anton 的回答就是说，他有和他一个在做这一块的朋友去聊到 深入的探讨很多这一类的事情。那他本身也很关注风景、创伤，还有这种新技术之间的关系。那特别关注战后 PTSD 这一块，所以他在制作这个的时候，从朋友那里得到了很多启发。但是朋友没有把全部的这些背景的资源分享给他，所以有一些是他看着朋友的电脑，他自己再重建出来，然后最后做成了这个作品。
那再来第三个问题，我想问 Vova， 就是你特别选的这3支片的概念，主要概念可以再进一步，因为我们看过你的 statement， 但是可以再请你进一步分享你使用 Ciadff Engine 的这个后面的想法。然后另外就是我也知道你长期有在研究这个领域，那你在莫斯科主题馆、俄罗斯主题馆在威尼斯双年展的时候，威尼斯建筑双年展的时候，你策划了这个主题，那个是2020年。那这些日子来，你的观察对于这个主题的想法是什么？就2个层次。
He asked Vladimir again about the concept of choosing these 3 films here, because I know that you've been studying and about series engine and a lot of game engine fields. So can you please share with us from your professional background, like why you choose the concept of choosing these 3 films?
Let me put on notes.
I understand.
You understand. You heard. We talk about it. Like how did you start it? At very beginning also. Yeah, including today's program.
Sorry, we just have a bit of echo here, hearing ourselves. So
if you switch off the sound.
Yeah. Okay, like I would also like to address some questions to Nasta and Antoine afterwards. But speaking about the program and in general, like my interest in game engines and video games started like 3 years ago with the program for Venice Architecture Biennial. Because after like the COVID pandemic, I think the usage of the video games.
We need to translate it. Sorry, we need to translate it.
Okay.
So give them a break.
Okay. Sorry. Okay.
我帮他讲前段，就是他在莫斯科，你刚好听到那一段吗？莫斯科主题国家馆。What year it is? 2020 when you curate the pavilion.
2021. Yeah.
就是2021 2021年在威尼斯建筑双年展的时候，我们的策展人其实在替那个时候还没有打仗，所以莫斯科俄罗斯国家馆。他们有一个游戏引擎的主题，然后他们重建了一个类似男生在玩那种枪战场景，但是他们建造了一个莫斯科俄罗斯的版本。Okay, your turn.
Okay. And that was kind of the initial, like, where my interest started, but then I kind of started researching, like, specifically machinima, which is like films made by means of video games more deeply, and like realized my co-curated with Jeff Roloff big research on machinima, like looking into like, I don't know, 300 films for Oberhausen Film Festival.
所以他后来也开始，我其实没办法全部翻完，但是他讲了一个是 Oberhausen， 就是他去年帮 Oberhausen 这个德国最老的短片电影节策划了同样的主题，那你要不要补充一下？
那刚刚一开始，谢谢导演，他有先讲说前面是他兴趣启发的源头，那他刚刚在那一段在补充，就是说在他产生这个兴趣之后，他就开始在更深入的去研究如何利用这一项技术去制作电影。
Okay, your turn.
For this program, I was like thinking to challenge this kind of perception of video games as like play, like fun or entertainment, like medium, which is often still perceived like that, but also like I noticed how artists using like specifically game engines to work on some psychological issues, be it like dreams, for example, like nightmares, also like PTSD, like in Antoine's film, but also like in Lawrence Leck's film Theta, where he observes the relationship between the AI police car, like AI-driven police car, talking to their inbuilt therapist after the accident. So like like these terms, I mean, like serious engine is not like a really term, but more like so like speculative title, let's say, combining game engines, but also like serious video games, and serious video games are the games that are used for military education, from different simulations of future scenarios or like urban scenarios, or just children education. Yeah, so the term serious games, I guess, suggests what it is.
在这次的展览中，他想要特别去挑战大众对于游戏这个游戏引擎的概念，因为大家可能对于游戏的印象还停留在电玩娱乐，它是一个好玩的东西。希望可以借由这次的影展，让大家可以去多注意到说，游戏也可以被用在心理治疗的用途，可能像是做梦啊、创伤、战后创伤 PTSD 这些议题都是可以使用到的。那也像是刚刚大家在第二部片西塔中有看到的，是他 AI 内建有一个心理医生，他就是去关注这一类型的议题。那同时这种比较严肃的游戏引擎也可以用在像是军事教育，还有说对于未来或现代议题的一些预测，甚至还有像是孩童的教育都可以使用。
那我分享一个小小的 information， 然后我再问一下Nasia，就是我其实2018年的时候有去过那个红场莫斯科，在战争之前。所以我刚刚看到那个画面，就是红场阅兵被水淹没，还有那个俄罗斯的莫斯科的那个红场的建筑被水淹没，我觉得其实蛮奇幻的，就是还是很 shock， 因为觉得如梦似幻。所以我想问 Nasia， 就是说，你在制造这些影像的时候，你是用电影的逻辑去思考，还是你受到游戏引擎的制造方式也非常大的影响，而去创造这个视觉？I'm asking Nasia.
This question is for Nastia, and before I started asking the question, I'd like to share a small information that in 2018, I actually went to Moscow, so I've seen the real scene and the architecture there. So when I see in your work that the place was flooded, I feel it's really unreal and shocking. So my question is that when you were making this artwork, do you make it based on the idea of filmmaking or based on the concept of trying to use the game engine? Thank you.
Oh, well, for me, especially what I like actually about game engine, that it helps to achieve what is almost impossible to achieve to an independent maker when you are working most on your own, because the Kremlin, it can be either really expensive in like collective filmmaking, or it is really impossible because you cannot fly the Kremlin. And so for me, like this is a combination of like this is the ability of doing it like still, but in a game, if I understood you correctly.
个人来说会很喜欢使用游戏引擎的原因，就是因为它可以帮助像我们这些独立的电影人去完成一些现实中几乎难以达成、做不到的事情，像是说要水淹控零工，这可能在现实世界就是很难以去实现的事情，所以透过这项技术就可以去实现我想要达成这个画面。
请问一下，我们还有多少时间？还可以问多久？我不知道观众还有5分钟。好，我现在先开放 ，Let's open. It's time for our audiences right now. 有没有人想要问问题？好。
我想问大家，就是 Dreams About Putin 这点，我个人非常喜欢，因为我觉得这3部另外2部相对阳刚一点。那 Dreams About Putin 有一种女性的观点，特别是讲 Putin 跟女性的关系。那我们也知道，这一部电影里面有现实的部分，因为那个 broadcast 非常非常的有名，那有很多是 fictional。我想知道这些 dreams based on truth and facts。还有是 fiction 的部分，还有那女性观点的呈现 ，Nadia 是怎么样去特别去想象？我觉得很有启发性。谢谢。
Ask Nadia the question is that I first want to express that I really enjoy your work, this Dreams About Putin, because I think it also provides a more feminine viewpoint towards the entire work.And we've known that in this work, some of the clips that's shown inside are based on true video footage. So I want to ask you, can you share about how you came up with all this imagination and creation of this work? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. It's important for me that this film, it is a documentary based on real dreams. So they shared the dreams, and so it's based on real fun which we discovered on course on the YouTube. All these incredible absolute nightmarish videos of Putin on your own. And actually, for me, this film started when we found of this film, the very last video where Putin is in jail. That's how it started, because that's my dream.
我觉得很重要的是，就是这是一部纪录片，那所以这些你们在影片中看到的很多都是基于真实的新闻，还有讲到说大家开始共同的去梦见普丁这件事情，这个也是真的。那里面很多画面，像刚刚大家有看到，也是透过可能像是YouTube 上面的现成素材去找到的资讯。那对我来说，最后面的那一幕就是普丁他在抓起来关的那一幕，对我来讲说也是非常重要的一个部分。
我有自己一个问题，我自己有一个问题是，普丁最后那个画面是怎么？他真的被抓吗？还有说他曾经被抓吗？还是他是 deepfake？ 就是深伪。
We have one more questions from the previous one, that is on the last scene of this film. We've seen that Putin is behind the bars. So where did you get this footage? Is that deepfake, or has it really been captured before? Thank you.
This footage, it is just for now, but we know that it will come true, quite a dream. This is a real video, probably it's deepfake. It's online on 4 years already.
所以它是深伪影片啊。 所以就是 also deepfake is a big issue right nowadays, right? Like 就是直接换脸就对了，所以现在的假新闻这些东西也是个问题。普丁没有真的被抓了，但是他在网络上找到这段影片。Yeah, one more question. 那我们再开放一个问题好不好？
是用那个无人机拍摄的吗？就是那个滑翔机跟那个小鸟一起飞的时候，就是用无人机拍的吗
？The lady is asking about the aeroplane, little one. It's not the aeroplane. This is 滑翔机。
The gliding
aircraft Putin was in the footage you use of Putin was on the aircraft. Where did you get that one? Is that real?
Yeah, I'm really happy for this dance because the case that documented footage of Putin is more accurate and more nightmare than any film that is this was point. It's the like already like 10 years ago that it was like huge he wanted to fly with the bird and they would first like get used to the birds, then they could fly with them. It's
Can I ask a question?
Well, but it's not from a drone camera, right? It's a very old footage, obviously.
It is an old footage.
这是老的纪录片，不是从无人机拍的，这是早期的。对 ，Sorry, because Putin is so topical here in Taiwan. He's famous. But I personally want to ask one more question. It's more geopolitics. 就是比较okay. Nobody want to say something? No. So the next question.
I just wanted to ask one question to Anton.
Yeah, your turn.
Okay. Sorry, we just a bit lost in the timing here. But Antoine, in the end, can you hear me?
Yes, just the echo, but hear me.
Okay. In the end, your character subtly suggested that he kind of shifted his paradigm in virtual world building practices, like caring about nature, but it's still like virtual nature, right? And can you say that he was healed? And what's actually your personal take on possibilities of using video games for treatment and relationships between this medium and the human psyche?
I don't know if I understood.
Hold on, we have to translate. Hold on.
Okay.
这个问题是我们的共同策展人 Vladimir 要问 Anton 的，就是他想问说，在这个角色最后，他有讲到说他就是很专注的在创作那些自然的景观背景这一块。那他有说到说他是但是那个其实是 VR 虚拟的，所以他是真的想要请问一下说这个角色跟真实的人对 VR 这块还有大自然的关系。
Yes, but if someone can ask me the question again there, because between us we have a huge echo.
So you didn't hear that? So, what? 他没听到吗？
Maybe I reduced to one sentence. Okay, because it was very multiple questions. So what is your take on the possibilities of using video games for treatment?
Okay. For treatment, I mean, there is many kind of treatment now with video games. Even if you're afraid of dark or not just in not just for the US and the French armies, for example, but in the French armies they use this video game they try to treat the PTSD, and but I think it's more interesting the way of Cyril because he found his own way to treat his PTSD. No, it's not possible because I think you can't treat your own PTSD, of course, but his way to relax himself with virtual landscapes. So I don't know about your question. I don't know what we can do with the virtual landscapes, if we can use it for I don't know, for other soldiers, or if maybe Cyril found a great way to relax other soldiers. I don't know, but what I was very interested in the Cyril way to relax himself, because he used the war video game and he removed all of the war avatar, the weapons, the buildings. He just keeps the nature. He just creates oceans, mountains, the wind, even the weather. He can control the weather, and I try to show this in the film, because the film starts with Cyril with weapons, with all of the army stuff, and at the end he's a kind of artist. He's not a soldier anymore. He's an artist, a CGI artist. So yeah, I think in the Cyril point of view, it's very interesting because he's stuck between freedom and because he found his own way to explore the nature, because he can't go out. I don't know what happened here. Sorry, he can't go out, and at the same time he's stuck inside the virtual landscape. So it's something it's an ambiguous point of view. He's stuck, but at the same time, he enjoyed the nature in the VR, the virtual landscapes. So yes. Thank you.
刚刚分享的就是说，因为刚刚我中间有插入翻译，所以他不是很确定问题，所以再重新简短的说一下问题。原本的问题就是说，其实真的想要问的就是，想请问 Antoine 他对于这个游戏引擎用在治疗这一块他的个人的想法。那Antoine 的说法就是说，游戏引擎就是可以被用在很多种地方嘛，像是美军跟法军他们都有在使用。那像法军他们就是有用在治疗士兵的一些 PTSD 战后心理状况这一块。那他自己的想法就是说，这个作品有趣的地方就是因为这个主角他就是自己在画那些背景的人，所以他没有办法用这样子的科技去医治他自己心理的状况，他必须要用不一样的方法去让自己的心态放松下来。所以实际上军人他们到底对于这个技术能不能用在缓解心理创伤这块有没有用呢？那Antoine他也不太能够确定，但是他自己非常有兴趣的就是这个影片，他整部片看下来那个主角心态放松的过程。因为像一开始我们就可以看到很多军备军装出现在角色的身上，可是一直慢慢的到影片的后面，我们可以发现就是比较着重在大自然，这个角色他已经可以开始控制他的环境，他可以去创造树啊山啊海那些环境的情况，他心态上就好像是比较自由了一样，到最后他已经心态上不是一个军人的心态在面对那个环境，而是一个CGI 合成他的艺术家去看，这就是心态上的转变。
谢谢你很长的翻译，谢谢好难。好，我们最后一个问题好不好？
谢谢，我想要接着问，那为什么就是那个刚刚在讨论的那一部影片，导演会选择要用女生的声音来作为整部片的就是导引？对，谢谢。
This question will also go to Antoine as well. The audience is curious why you would choose a female voice throughout this whole film as a narrator. Thank you.
Yes, that's the question. Because for many things, first he didn't want to talk of the camera. Some after I asked him, maybe he should send me audio records. But many during the war, the PTSD, I want to have some is the point of view, testimony. But it was very interesting with Cyril because he always say, no, I don't want. You can film me. I can do whatever you want in front of the camera. But it was like the voice is to intimate, So first he didn't want to give me any material he didn't want to give me any testimonies. So I thought I started to write the voiceover, but I didn't want, because it's a film about identities. Everything is moving. Even the landscape is changing. His own identities. He's always changing his some different kind of uniforms. So I thought, I didn't want to play this game, in a cinema, to have a male voiceover, or because he's a male soldier, and to have this kind of virile voiceover. I didn't want this. I wanted to create a gap between the images and the sound and the voice. So I thought it was more interesting to have a female voiceover to understand that it's his story, but at the same time it's someone else who will share his story. So I wanted to create a gap between the sound, the images, and the identity of Cyril.
Anton 的回答就是说，一方面是因为他觉得这个角色他的形象本身已经是男性，然后在整个过程中都可以看到说他一直很忙，每个东西都好像在移动一样，他又换装啊，然后整个地理位置都在移动。那他想要去创造一些环境还有视觉人物上面的不同，所以他觉得说加入一个女性的声音好像是一个比较有趣、一个比较突兀的选择。
虽然没有时间了，但是我想再问一个问题，问 Vova， 因为我看到很有趣，3个 case， 这3个影片分别代表了，在政治经济的这个面向，在地缘政治面向，它刚好是北约，然后这个俄罗斯，然后中国，然后我觉得这个巧思是怎样来的，然后以及说，如果要最后一句话来请问3位艺术家，面对当今的政治局势，用一句话来表达你的看法，你会怎么告诉台湾的观众？这样子。
Running a little bit out of time, but we have a very last question from the moderator here today. So I noticed that in the selection of these 3 films, they represent the NATO, China, and also Russia in each of the films. So I want to ask Vladimir about why you would, is it like a coincidence, or what is it your thoughts on choosing these film? And also for all of our guests today, can you try to use one sentence to tell us your viewpoints about today's world? What would you say to Taiwanese audience on your viewpoints to the economic and politics right now? Thank you.
You have to turn on your microphone.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
It's I mean, the second question is of course complex, but like speaking about the coincidences or not, I guess, I mean, as a curator, you would always say, yeah, of course it's a coincidence. But of course, also, I guess what bothers me or matters for me the most, I guess, are present in those films. I don't want to be pathetic, but that's what speaks to me, and that's why I select these films that hopefully will speak to you, and I hope they spoke to you. And commenting on the global politics. I guess I don't have the right to speak about the global politics, but I have a right to speak about also what is a coincidence today that nice film about Putin is coinciding with the last day of the so-called elections in Russia, which of course total fake on big scale, and what we can, I don't know, maybe Nastya will also to say that these elections should not be, it's not a legitimate election, and nobody, and also Taiwan, should not accept that. And, yeah.
It's more than a sentence. You speak too much.
Sorry, it's on Zoom. It's hard to.
I know.
imagine.
I'm just kidding.
好，那这边来回答一下。那 Vladimir 说，他之所以会选这3部片，他作为一个共同策展人，他的看法他一定会跟你说的，当然是巧合才会选这3部代表不同意义的片啊。那但是其实就对他来讲，这3部片是他觉得最能够部分的反映现在当今世界现况的这一个选择，才会选择这些片。那对于第二个问题，就是可以刚刚大家在普丁的梦这一片里面有看到说，有一部分它其实是跟俄罗斯所谓的最后的选举有很大的关系。那大家也知道说，里面有作假成分非常的高。那希望在讨论大家可以对这种国际情势有一些更实际准确的认知，也要知道说这个选举它的结果应该不是可以被接受的。谢谢。How about Nastya? Can you share with us?
We are out of time, so one sentence, if that's possible. Stronger, as stronger as possible.
Well, it's a tough thing to formulate, but I think like in the very doomed times, but I think we still be hopeful and strong. And to while being big, we will survive all the day and in the YouTube funny videos.
最后，OK， 好，我尽力。他说不会，他说要在这么短的时间内想到一句话来总结他对于当今局势的心得是很困难的事情。不过就他来讲说，现在他可以讲的事情就是大家就是努力生活，努力工作吧，就是把自己可以做好。
And Anton? We have one sentence, if it's possible, and to speak about what's your message for audiences here about the geopolitics situation nowadays, and whatever you want to say.
Okay, here about the politics everywhere on the earth, or in a specific everywhere. Oh, okay, wow. Okay. There is a lot of wars now. Okay. I don't know. Let's talk about 2 days ago. It was the 13th anniversary of the Syrian Revolution.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
Sorry, because my next
the time is out.
Will be about this.
The time is up, so we have to stop right now because the next screening is coming up.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I asked too many questions. 谢谢各位. Thank you for your participation.
谢谢各位.
Thank you, Boba. Thank you, Nastya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.